Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying this. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to chase after validation from anyone, and you certainly don't need to wait for a perfect moment to begin living your life fully. Right now, at this very moment, you are already enough. Yes, you heard me, already enough. The idea that you are already enough is one of the most powerful realizations you can ever come to in life. For so many of us, we grow up with the belief that our worth is conditional, that we must achieve, perform, or prove ourselves in order to deserve love, success, or happiness. Society constantly tells us that we are lacking in some way. We need to look different, earn more, acquire more knowledge, or gain more recognition to be accepted or valued. This belief creates a cycle of self-criticism, comparison, and endless striving, which keeps us feeling incomplete and disconnected from our true selves. But the truth is that your essence, your existence, and your being are inherently whole. You were born with a unique combination of gifts, talents, and perspectives that make you complete just as you are. You do not need to earn your value or prove it to anyone. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward freedom and fulfillment. When you truly embrace the idea that you are already enough, it changes the way you experience life. You stop measuring yourself against others or against impossible standards, and instead you begin to cultivate self-acceptance and self-love. This does not mean complacency or lack of growth. Rather, it is about understanding that growth and achievement are enhancements of who you already are, not prerequisites for worthiness. When you operate from this state of inherent wholeness, your energy and attention are no longer consumed by self, doubt, or fear of inadequacy. Instead, you can focus on your passions, your creativity, and your purpose, knowing that your existence is sufficient to bring value into the world. This mindset also transforms your relationships, because when you no longer seek validation from others to feel complete, you engage with people from a place of authenticity and generosity rather than neediness. Life becomes a process of expansion and expression rather than a constant chase to be enough. Understanding that you are already enough is the cornerstone of manifestation, because manifestation requires alignment with your true self. When you feel lacking or unworthy, you repel opportunities and abundance. When you know your inherent worth, you naturally attract experiences and people that reflect that understanding. This realization allows you to live with confidence, courage, and peace, and it opens the door to creating a life that is not based on fear or scarcity, but on joy, purpose, and infinite possibility. The not enough mindset is one of the most pervasive obstacles to living a fulfilling and empowered life. It is the belief that no matter what you have, achieve, or experience, it will never be sufficient. This mindset often manifests as constant self-criticism, comparison to others, and a persistent feeling of inadequacy. People who operate from this mental framework tend to focus on what they lack rather than appreciating what they already possess. They measure their worth against external markers such as wealth, appearance, status, or accomplishments, which are fleeting and often outside of their control. The problem with the not enough mindset is that it creates a continuous cycle of dissatisfaction and struggle. When you constantly feel inadequate, you unconsciously attract situations that reinforce this belief, and you miss opportunities to recognize your true potential and abundance. The key to overcoming this mindset is understanding that it is not a reflection of reality, but a conditioned thought pattern that can be changed. You are not defined by what you lack or by the expectations of others. Your value exists independent of external measures. By shifting your focus from scarcity to sufficiency, you begin to notice the richness of life that has always been present but often overlooked. This involves cultivating self-awareness and consciously observing the inner dialogue that fuels feelings of insufficiency. Each time you catch yourself thinking, "I am not enough," you have the opportunity to pause, breathe, and replace it with the truth. You are complete, you are whole, and you possess everything you need to thrive in this moment. Changing this mindset does not happen overnight, but it grows stronger each time you practice self-compassion, gratitude, and acceptance. When you stop operating from the belief of not enough, you open the door to authentic creativity, confidence, and joy. Your energy is no longer spent trying to fill perceived voids or chasing external validation. Instead, it flows naturally into productive, fulfilling, and meaningful endeavors. This shift also transforms your relationships, as you begin to engage with others from a place of wholeness rather than neediness, the not enough mindset keeps you stuck in a cycle of comparison and longing. But the moment you recognize that you are already complete and sufficient exactly as you are, your perception of the world changes. Opportunities, abundance, and meaningful connections start to appear effortlessly because the energy you emit is aligned with confidence and self-assurance rather than lack and fear. Manifestation is often misunderstood as simply wishing for something and waiting for it to appear, but true manifestation begins with alignment. Alignment means bringing your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions into harmony with the reality you want to create. When your inner state matches your desires, the universe naturally responds, because energy always moves toward coherence and resonance. Many people struggle with manifestation because they focus only on external goals without considering whether their inner world supports them. For example, you may want financial abundance, a loving relationship, or professional success, but if you are carrying self-doubt, fear, or resistance, these inner blocks act like magnets for delay, frustration, or failure. Alignment is the process of clearing these blocks, understanding your worth, and cultivating a mindset that matches the reality you want to experience. It is not about forcing things into existence. It is about being in a state where your desires can flow effortlessly to you. This involves paying attention to your thoughts and emotions because they are the language of the universe. Negative or limiting beliefs create a vibration that attracts experiences reflecting that lack, while positive, empowered, and loving beliefs create a vibration that attracts abundance and fulfillment. Alignment also requires clarity of intention. You must know not just what you want, but why you want it and whether it aligns with your highest good. Desires that are rooted in ego, fear, or comparison are less likely to manifest because they do not resonate with the pure energy of creation. Practicing alignment involves daily habits such as visualization, meditation, affirmation, and gratitude, which help you tune into the frequency of what you want to attract. The more consistently you cultivate this inner harmony, the easier it becomes to manifest your desires. Your actions naturally follow your aligned state, moving you toward opportunities and experiences that are in perfect resonance with your goals. In essence, manifestation is not about chasing external outcomes. It is about cultivating an internal state that matches those outcomes. When your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and behaviors are aligned, you become a magnet for all that you desire, and the universe has no choice but to respond to your coherent energy. Alignment allows you to experience life from a place of flow rather than struggle, and it ensures that the manifestations you attract are not only possible but deeply fulfilling, meaningful, and in harmony with your true self. Fear and comparison are two of the strongest forces that prevent people from living a fulfilled and empowered life. Fear shows up in countless ways: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, and fear of the unknown. Comparison, on the other hand, is the habit of measuring yourself against others, constantly assessing who is doing better, who looks better, or who has achieved more. Both fear and comparison keep you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and scarcity, making it nearly impossible to experience true joy, confidence, or abundance. When you release fear, You free yourself from the mental chains that limit your potential. Fear is often based on imagined scenarios or past experiences, but it has no power over your present moment unless you give it that power. Choosing to release fear does not mean ignoring caution or responsibility. It means acknowledging fear without letting it dictate your actions or cloud your perception of your worth. Similarly, releasing comparison allows you to embrace your own unique journey without judgment or resentment. Every individual's path is different, shaped by distinct experiences, talents, and timing. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you undervalue your own accomplishments and diminish your self-worth. By letting go of comparison, you shift your focus from what others have to what you already possess and the limitless potential within you. Releasing fear and comparison is a conscious practice that requires self-awareness and patience. It begins with noticing when these thoughts arise and intentionally redirecting your attention to empowering beliefs. Practices such as meditation, journaling, affirmations, and gratitude help retrain your mind to focus on abundance, capability, and self-love. As you let go of fear, you begin to act from courage, confidence, and authenticity rather than avoidance or insecurity. As you release comparison, you develop a deep sense of inner peace, contentment, and appreciation for your unique path. This liberation transforms your energy and perspective, making you more receptive to opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your desires. When fear and comparison no longer dominate your inner world, your mind, heart, and actions naturally align with your highest potential, allowing creativity, joy, and manifestation to flow freely. Ultimately, the act of releasing these limiting patterns is not just about improving your life. It is about remembering that you are inherently worthy, capable, and complete exactly as you are, without needing to measure up or compete with anyone else. Gratitude and acceptance are two of the most transformative practices you can cultivate in your life, and together they create a foundation for inner peace, abundance, and fulfillment. Many people focus on what is missing, what has gone wrong, or what they wish were different, and in doing so, they overlook the countless blessings that already exist in their lives. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from lack to recognition of the richness that surrounds you. When you take time to consciously notice and appreciate even the smallest aspects of your life, the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a home, the love of friends and family, or even the lessons learned through challenges, you begin to create a magnetic energy that draws more positive experiences into your reality. Acceptance is equally powerful because it allows you to embrace life as it is without resistance or judgment. Acceptance does not mean passivity or complacency. It means acknowledging the present moment and your current circumstances without labeling them as good or bad. When you accept life as it unfolds, you stop wasting energy fighting reality and begin to respond with clarity, creativity, and calm. These two practices, gratitude and acceptance, work hand in hand. Gratitude opens your heart to see the value in what exists, and acceptance allows you to meet life without unnecessary struggle, fear, or resentment. Together, they shift your mindset from one of lack and limitation to one of sufficiency and empowerment. When you cultivate gratitude and acceptance, your perception of yourself and the world changes dramatically. You begin to recognize that every experience, whether joyful or challenging, contributes to your growth and understanding. Life becomes less about constantly seeking external validation or comparing yourself to others, and more about embracing your journey with awareness and appreciation. This perspective naturally aligns you with the flow of abundance, because the energy of gratitude and acceptance resonates with the universe, attracting experiences, people, and opportunities that reflect this vibration. Gratitude and acceptance also foster resilience. When you face difficulties, instead of reacting with frustration, fear, or anger, you can navigate challenges with composure and wisdom, seeing each obstacle as an opportunity for learning and expansion. Over time, these practices become a way of life, transforming how you engage with the world, others, and yourself, and creating a powerful platform from which manifestation, self-love, and personal fulfillment naturally emerge. Many people misunderstand manifestation as a process that requires constant action, effort, or struggle to bring their desires into reality. They believe that achieving goals or creating the life they want is primarily about doing more, working harder, or controlling every circumstance. While action is certainly a part of life, true manifestation is less about doing and more about being. Being refers to the state of your mind, emotions, and energy, the alignment of your inner world with the life you wish to create. When you focus solely on doing, you often act from a place of lack, fear, or desperation, which pushes opportunities away rather than attracting them. Being, on the other hand, is about cultivating a sense of wholeness, confidence, and peace in the present moment. It is recognizing that you are already complete and that your desires are an extension of your natural state, rather than something you must chase or earn. When you operate from this state of being, your actions flow effortlessly and naturally. You make decisions with clarity and purpose, guided by intuition rather than pressure or anxiety. Being aligned means that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are in harmony with what you want to manifest, which creates a powerful magnetic energy that draws experiences, people, and opportunities toward you. It is the difference between forcing a result and allowing it to unfold. When you focus on being, you are fully present, aware, and receptive, which allows you to notice synchronicities, subtle cues, and pathways that might otherwise go unseen. Being also transforms your relationship with life itself. You stop struggling against reality or worrying about outcomes, and instead, you embrace each moment as it is while maintaining a clear vision of your desires. This state of being generates a calm confidence and an inner certainty that what I want is already on its way, which is far more effective than frantic effort or anxious striving. Manifestation, therefore, is not a checklist of actions. It is a practice of alignment, consciousness, and inner harmony. When you prioritize being over doing, you create a magnetic field that naturally attracts everything you desire, and your life begins to unfold in ways that are effortless, joyful, and deeply fulfilling. Believing in your inherent worth is one of the most fundamental steps toward living a fulfilled, empowered, and abundant life. Too often, people define their value based on external factors such as achievements, wealth, approval from others, or comparisons to those around them. This approach creates a fragile sense of self because external validation is unreliable, temporary, and outside of your control. Your worth, however, is not something that needs to be earned or proven. It is intrinsic, permanent, and unchanging. Recognizing this truth transforms the way you experience yourself and the world. When you believe in your inherent worth, you stop chasing approval or recognition because you no longer need it to feel complete. You operate from a place of confidence, self-respect, and inner security, which naturally radiates outward and positively impacts every area of your life. This belief also empowers you to make choices that honor your well-being, passions, and purpose. You no longer settle for situations, relationships, or environments that diminish your value or compromise your integrity. Instead, you create boundaries that reflect the understanding that you are deserving of respect, love, and success simply because you exist. Believing in your worth also reshapes your mindset around manifestation. When you feel inadequate or unworthy, you unconsciously block abundance, opportunities, and experiences that align with your desires. But when you truly embrace your value, you emit an energy that naturally attracts positive circumstances and people who recognize and complement your worth. This belief fosters resilience as well, because you are less likely to be shaken by external challenges, criticisms, or setbacks. You approach life from a place of inner strength rather than fear or self-doubt. Developing this belief requires self-reflection, mindfulness, and intentional practice. Daily affirmations, journaling, and moments of gratitude for your unique qualities can reinforce the understanding that you are complete and sufficient. Over time, believing in your inherent worth becomes second nature, and you begin to act, think, and feel from this empowered space without effort. The moment you internalize this truth, your perspective shifts from scarcity to abundance, from lack to recognition of your infinite potential. You start to see opportunities where once there were obstacles, and you cultivate relationships, careers, and experiences that honor and reflect your value. Ultimately, believing in your inherent worth is not about ego or arrogance. It is about reconnecting with the truth of who you are, embracing your uniqueness, and living with confidence, courage, and purpose in every moment. Letting go of limiting stories is one of the most crucial steps toward personal freedom, growth, and manifestation. Throughout life, each of us carries narratives about ourselves, others, and the world. Stories we've absorbed from childhood, society, and past experiences. These stories often take the form of beliefs like I'm not good enough, I always fail, or success is only for others. While they may feel real and familiar, they are not truths. They are perceptions that shape your reality, often in ways that keep you small, constrained, and stuck in repetitive patterns. The danger of these limiting stories is that they unconsciously influence your thoughts, emotions, and actions, creating barriers to your true potential. When you believe that you are limited, you act from fear, doubt, and hesitation, which inadvertently reinforces the very limitations you wish to overcome. Letting go of these stories begins with awareness. You must first notice the recurring thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you and recognize that they are separate from your authentic self. The stories are constructs of the mind. They are learned responses, not inherent truth. Once you identify them, the next step is conscious release. This involves questioning their validity, reframing them with empowering alternatives, and choosing new beliefs that align with your desires, purpose, and highest self. Practices such as journaling, affirmations, meditation, and visualization can help you disentangle from these limiting narratives and replace them with empowering ones. As you let go, you create space for possibilities, growth, and abundance that were previously blocked. Life becomes less about defending outdated beliefs and more about exploring potential, taking inspired action, and embracing change. Letting go of limiting stories also improves your relationship with yourself and others. When you release judgment, blame, and self-criticism, you open your heart to self, love, compassion, and authentic connection. You begin to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats, setbacks as lessons rather than failures, and life as an unfolding journey rather than a rigid path defined by fear. The energy once tied up in resisting, doubting, or proving yourself is now available to fuel creativity, intuition, and manifestation. By shedding the mental narratives that confine you, you align more fully with your true nature, enabling you to act, feel, and attract in ways that are consistent with your highest potential. Releasing these stories is not a one-time act but an ongoing practice, and each step forward strengthens your capacity to live freely, joyfully, and abundantly, unburdened by the limitations of the past. When your inner world is aligned, your desires begin to flow naturally, effortlessly, and in perfect timing. Alignment is the state in which your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are in harmony with the life you want to create. Without alignment, your desires often feel like distant dreams or constant struggles because your inner state contradicts what you are trying to attract. For example, if you deeply desire financial abundance but secretly feel unworthy or fearful of receiving it, your internal resistance blocks the manifestation process. True alignment begins with self-awareness, understanding your values, and cultivating a mindset that matches your intentions. When you focus on being rather than doing, and on feeling rather than forcing, your energy resonates with what you desire, creating a magnetic field that draws opportunities, people, and experiences toward you. It is a natural law, like attracts like, and when your inner state vibrates at the same frequency as your dreams, manifestation is no longer a struggle. It becomes an effortless flow. Alignment also requires clarity and authenticity. Your desires must reflect your highest self, not the expectations of others or superficial wants that do not serve your growth. When your intentions are pure and your inner world is coherent, the universe responds by presenting paths, synchronicities, and resources that support your goals. This is why sometimes manifestations seem to arrive unexpectedly. They are flowing into your life when you are in the right state of being to receive them. Being aligned also enhances your perception. You begin to notice opportunities that were invisible before, and you instinctively make choices that guide you closer to your goals. Actions taken from alignment are inspired, intentional, and effortless, rather than forced or anxious. Gratitude, self-love, and acceptance play a crucial role in this process, because they amplify the resonance between your inner state and your desired reality. When you cultivate these qualities, your energy becomes a beacon for abundance, attracting experiences that match your vision and values. Over time, living in alignment transforms not only what you manifest, but also how you experience life. You move from struggle to flow, from longing to fulfillment, and from fear to confidence. Your desires no longer feel like distant aspirations. They become natural extensions of who you are, reflecting the harmony, clarity, and empowerment you cultivate within. Alignment creates a fertile inner environment where manifestation is not forced but inevitable, and your life begins to mirror the inner coherence, peace, and authenticity you have developed. Remembering your true self is the ultimate key to living a life of fulfillment, purpose, and effortless manifestation. Many people spend their entire lives chasing external achievements, seeking validation, or trying to become someone they believe they should be, often forgetting the essence of who they really are. Your true self is the part of you that is whole, complete, and inherently worthy. It is not defined by your past mistakes, societal expectations, or temporary circumstances. It is the unchanging, authentic core that exists beyond ego, fear, or external validation. When you reconnect with this true self, you awaken to the understanding that your worth, creativity, and potential have never been dependent on proving anything to anyone. Remembering your true self allows you to operate from a place of inner peace and confidence, rather than reacting to the pressures and judgments of the external world. It gives you the freedom to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your authentic desires, rather than chasing what others expect or what you think you should want. This remembrance is essential for manifestation, because manifestation flows naturally when your inner state reflects your authentic being. When you are disconnected from your true self, you may try to force outcomes, imitate others, or measure success by external markers, which creates resistance and frustration. In contrast, when you remember who you truly are, your actions become inspired, your intuition becomes clear, and your energy naturally attracts experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with your authentic life path. Reconnecting with your true self also transforms your relationships, because you begin to engage with others from a place of authenticity and unconditional love rather than neediness, fear, or pretense. Life becomes less about striving, proving, or seeking approval, and more about expressing your unique gifts, passions, and potential in a way that contributes to the world. Practices such as meditation, self-reflection, journaling, mindfulness, and quiet contemplation can help you peel away the layers of conditioning, limiting beliefs, and external expectations that obscure your true self. The more you cultivate this awareness, the more naturally your desires, intentions, and actions align with who you really are, creating a life that feels effortless, joyful, and meaningful. Remembering your true self is not about achieving something new. It is about recalling and embodying the truth that has always been within you. It is the foundation of all self-love, manifestation, abundance, and authentic living, and it allows you to navigate life with clarity, confidence, and purpose in every moment.